So in this video tutorial I am going to design this model. So as you see the statements create the following model. You should have all the dimension you need to correctly create the model. Use revolve to make the solid but only use 300 degree. So first I am going to talk about the revolve command. As you know, the meaning of the revolve command is something on a circle moving around a circle, or something on the moving around a center point or center axis. So as you know, this is a let's suppose this is a circle and this is the center point of that. So when something is revolving around that center or moving around that circle, it is called it revolving. So the revolve, basically that is the concept of revolve command. First you draw a sketch, like I draw that sketch, and then you can make it revolve around a center point or center axis. Like in Fusion 360 we have these three axes, X, Y and Z. So if you draw a sketch like that, you can make this sketch revolve around this axis or this axis or this y axis, depending on your situation where you draw the sketch, on which plane you if you draw the sketch on xy plane and you want to make a disc, so you just draw that sketch and just revolve it. So like you see a pulley, so you just draw a sketch of the pulley like that. If anybody saw a pulley, he can understand that you can sketch a half. And in the, if you are going to use a revolve command, basically you just draw a half sketch and then revolve it. You don't need it to draw the full sketch. So let's suppose I'm going to so these are all the sketches which we draw, like this sketch. So basically this is just a rim of a tire, or you can say it a pulley. So as you observe this model, you see this on the right plane. If you see it on the right plane, if you see on this right plane, you just see that portion of the sketch. So you just needed that portion of that sketch. Let me draw that in here. So you just needed to draw a sketch like that, this half sketch, and then you just make a revolve command around that x-axis, and it will become in that shape, this whole shape. So you just like look this sketch on any plane, like on the right plane. For this sketch we are going to look on from the right plane, and just observe this half sketch and then draw it, this half sketch which is showing in the front of you. So as you see, for this model we needed to add a 300 degree angle. So as you know, a total circle has a 360 angle. So for 360 angle, you just going to revolve it for 300 angle. So when you do it in Fusion, you will understand that what the meaning of that. And for this model, as you are looking from the front side, you will see just this half of that sketch, this half of that sketch. So that's what we are going to do for this model. And here is the full sketch of this front plane is given. We don't needed the full plane sketch. I am just going to add a half sketch of that model. The half sketch is enough for it. If you add full sketch, it will take some time, and but you can make a full sketch and then revolve just a half sketch. You can also do that, but half sketch is good. Like it will take less time to design the half sketch. So first thing is that I'm going to open the Fusion and start drawing it. So we will begin it from this origin. I am going to draw a line like here, and this portion of the sketch. Then we are going to dimension it, and then I am going to add these shapes also here, and in middle a rectangle and this shape, and then we are going to add the dimension. So to make a half sketch like this, total dimension is 8 from starting from this point to this point and origin in the middle. So to add the half sketch, we are going to add a dimension of 4 inches from this point to this origin. So you will closely observe in the video to see which dimension I am going to make them half. So first thing is that I am going to change the units in inches, select OK. Then go to create sketch, and I am going to select this front plane for it. So front plane will be in front of us. So first I am going to draw two lines, like line 1 and line 2, and select. Then I am going to make these two line construction. These two lines I am just adding for my reference. These are not involving in this sketch. These are just construction line, or we can call it just a reference line. So first thing is that I am going to start my sketch from this point, select this point, and then go here, and then from this point to like that, and then from this point to that, and then in that, then like that, then move above like that, like that, like that, and from here just zoom out to make a feasible location, and then add a constraint for this line. We want this line horizontal. It's all horizontal, already horizontal. Then I am going to add the sketch dimension. So select the sketch dimension. So for dimension from this point to this point, I am going to add 1, because this dimension I just added this dimension, the 2 millimeter from this point to this point, but I am making a half sketch from here, so that's why I just added dimension 1 from origin this point to this point, 1 millimeter. And then I am going to add a 6.2 dimension from this point to this point, but as you know, we are making a half sketch, so from origin to this point it's 3.1. So sketch dimension from this point to this origin is 3.1, and then dimension from here to here we are making it 8 divided by 2. We can also divide the dimension with 2, 8 divided by 2. So this dimension from this point to this origin is 4, but as you see in the sketch, for the full sketch from this point to this point it's 8 inches, but we make it 4 inches. We divided by 2 because we are adding a half sketch from this point to this point is 4. So this dimension is done. Then I am going to add this position dimensions, and this dimension from here to here is also 8, and we will make it 4. The dimension of this line is given as 1, and the dimension from this point to this point, sketch dimension, select this point and this line, and this dimension is given as 1.5. And then you can zoom in or zoom out to make a feasible location of this sketch in front of you, like which will be easy for you to select the dimension. So dimension for this to this point, this line dimension is given as 1. Okay, it moved this line above of this line, but we just needed to make it like that. And then again sketch dimension, and this line is given as 1. So like that. Basically this line is we added here a complete line, but it will end here, then move below, and then like that. So I am going to delete this line, select this line and click and select delete. It will delete that line, and then go to line, start the line from this point like that and select that point, and then go to sketch dimension and look the dimension for it. From here to here total is 2, but from center it will become 1. From here to this point it's 1, and from this point to this line it's become 4. So like that we added this dimension. Now to make it a fully defined dimension, we needed to observe this sketch carefully. So as you see, this line and this line, they are facing each other. So we needed to add a relation between them to make these two lines facing each other or on the same line. So to do that, we are going to add a collinear relation. Select collinear, select this line and this line, and it will make them collinear. Collinear means these both line will be on the same line, as there is no line between them, but they will be on the same line. Like a line is here and line is here, and the collinear relation between is them. Collinear relation is them. If you added a collinear relation between this line and this line, that means these two lines are on the same line. If you like draw a line like that, so both line will be on the same line. A line. If collinear is added, that means these both line, the points of these both line will be on the same line. So that's the collinear. So we added the collinear relation between this line and this line, so they will be on the same line. You can also make this point and this point like have a relation of horizontal, like these 2 points will be on a same horizontal line. You can also do that by horizontal, but collinear is good for it. And next we needed to see, so as you see, this line is this line 8 1 1, and we needed to define this line. In this sketch we already defined it, so this line we needed to make it a parallel line. So here is an equal, as you see, from this point to this point, this dimension is given as 0.80. so we needed to add from this point to this point this dimension. From this point to this dimension, this is 8. Now we needed to add a parallel relation between this line and this line. So select parallel, select this line and this line. It will make a parallel relationship between them. So both lines will become a parallel to each other, like on the same. And next thing is that we needed to add this design. So no, we don't needed this parallel relation between them. I added this mistakenly because I did not see this dimension. There is a dimension from this line. You must observe the all dimension closely, so you know which dimensions are given. So you see every dimension, every location dimension for them. So I'm going to select dimension, and dimension from this line to this line it's 2, like that. Now we are good to go, because from this point to this point, this dimension is given as 4, but we are adding a half dimension from this line. So 4 is divided by 2, it will become 2. And now I am going to add this rectangle, but I am just going add a half rectangle. So it's from here to here it's 1.5, and from here to here it's 3, which will be divided by 2. So select line, I added line like that, and then you just make the dimension. So this dimension is 1.5 and this dimension is also 1.5. And now if you observe closely this sketch, you can see a collinear relation is also added for this line and this line. This is the symbol of the collinear. As you observe, we added the collinear relation between this line and this line. These two lines we added collinear relation, and this is the symbol of collinear relation, is showing that these two lines are collinear. This is the collinear symbol. So as you see, for this line and this line, a collinear relation is also existed. So I am going to select collinear for this line and for this line, and now this whole sketch is turned to black and it's fully defined. So just last line we will draw from this origin to this point, and it will make a closed profile which is filled by a color. So finish this sketch. Now basically observe this sketch closely to see how the revolve will work. So this is the command of revolve. If you move here, you can, it will also give the definition of revolve. Revolve a sketch profile or planar face around a selected axis. Select a profile or planar face, then select the axis to revolve around. So that is the definition of revolve command. I am going to click on revolve, and this type of pop-up window of revolve will show. So first point is profile. So the Fusion 360 is asking which profile you want to revolve. So we want this, just select the inner portion of that sketch. So you selected the profile, we just wanted this profile of the sketch to revolve, and it's asking axis. So axis means which will be your central axis around which you want to make a circular revolve of this sketch. So for the axis, as you see, there is 3 axes. This is red, this is blue. So I am going to select this x-axis, this one. Sorry, this is y-axis. So I am just going to select this green. The color of this y-axis is green. So I am going to select this axis. So this, it will make the sketch moving around this axis. So let me show you some, like in a good example. So this is sketch. So I am going to moving this handle around that axis. So as you see, this sketch is moving around that axis, and it is adding the material around that axis. So that is the revolve command. That's how it will work. So as you see, there is the angle is also like added when you move this handle. So no, total revolve is 170 angle. No, it will become like 295, that form. But total angle for the type, we don't needed the like full revolve. We needed the revolve for some angle. So select the angle, and then select the angle for which you type the angle which you want to do the revolve. So for this revolve, we wanted it at angle of 300 degree. So it will make a revolve of that shape. You can rotate it and see that. So hope so you will understand the concept of this revolve command.